Hey families, welcome to a quick multiplication review meant to help your children with their homework this week. Very quickly, we're going to look at the standard algorithm. Standard algorithm just means it is the steps for solving multiplication. Your children should be familiar with this already. They did it in 3rd grade, and we've also already done some of it in 4th grade. With the standard algorithm, we do problems that are 2 by 1, so it means 2-digit by 1 digit, 3-digit by 1 digit, and then 4-digit by 1 digit. So as long as we only have 1 digit multiplied by any other type of number, then students are expected to use the standard algorithm. And this is what we did when we were growing up in school, like I said. So you would do 4 times 3, 12, regroup that 1, 4 times 2 is 8, plus that 1 is 9, for a total of 92. Our 3-digit by 1 digit, 5 times 2 is 10, 0. I always tell my students to put a plus sign and then circle it to help us remember that that friend's hanging up out there. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 more is 21. So then we're going to regroup that 2. 5 times 3 is 15, plus that 2 is going to give me 17. I have 1, 2, 3, comma, for an answer of 1,710. And then our last 4-digit by 1 digit. This is the highest value that we will have as a 4-digit number. We will not go into 5 digits or 10,000s in 4th grade. We only go up to thousands. So 9 times 3 is 27. Regroup the 2. Students may get stumped here because there's a 0, but we're just going to keep on trucking along. 9 times 0 is 0, plus that 2 is 2. So 2 would go right here. 9 times 6 is 54. Regroup that 5. 9 times 4 is 36, plus 5 more is 41. 1, 2, 3, comma, for an answer of 41,427. So this is what your students should be, or your children should be able to do. The new added element to 4th grade is doing a 2-digit by 2-digit model. So an example would be 53 times 46. So you can see it's a 2-digit by a 2-digit. And in 4th grade, we're really looking at the concept of multiplying 2-digit by 2-digit, not the process. So the concept is like the idea, the understanding of it, versus really memorizing those steps in it. So in 4th grade, with a 2-digit by 2-digit number, we do not use the standard algorithm. We use something called the area model. And in this area model, you can see we make a square, and we're going to use the inside or the area of the square rectangle to help us solve our multiplication problem. So the big deal with this is we're going to take it and we're going to chunk it up. So just like if you were going to eat a steak, you're not going to gobble up the whole steak. You're going to take it in bites. So we're going to make these numbers into smaller bite-sized pieces. So this first number we have is 53, and we're going to decompose it. So I'm going to look at that 5. The value of the 5 is actually 50. So I'm going to put 50 there, and then plus, and then we're looking at that 3, and the value of the 3 is just that. It's just 3. And then when we look at the 46, the value of that 4 is 40. And then we're going to look at that 6. The value of the 6 is 1. So we're going to take what we did right here where we decompose these numbers. We broke them down, 53 into 50 plus 3 and 46 into 40 plus 6. We're going to set them up here on our area model. And since we have 2 place values, we're going to have 2 columns, and again 2 place values, so we're going to have 2 rows. At the very top here, we're going to put 50 plus 3, and then down the side, we're going to put 40 plus 6. And it doesn't matter whichever side you use. You do have to have one at the top and one on the side, though. You cannot have one at the top and one at the bottom, or you cannot have them both on the side. You need to have one at the top and one on the side. So with these boxes, now we've broken down our multiplication into smaller steps. So in this first box, since we have 50 at the top and 40 on the side, this box is going to be 50 times 40. This box, since there's a 3 on top and a 40 on the side, it will be 3 times 40. This box has a 50 on the top and a 6 on the side, so it is going to be 50 times 6. And then this final box has 3 on the top and 6 on the side, so it will be 3 times 6. So now we're going to multiply all of these numbers. So we're going to start with 50 times 40, and students should know that they just look at 5 times 4, which is 20, and then we have 1, 2 zeros left over there, and we've got 1, 2 zeros. We spent a lot of time this year with looking at place value, so they should know that that is a simple way to do it. Looking at the next one, we have 3 times 4, which is 12, and we have 1 0, so that will give us 120. This bottom one, we have 5 times 6, which is 30, and then there's 1 0. And then this last box is 3 times 6, which just gives us 18. So since we have multiplied in all of our boxes, we're ready for the very last step, which is just adding them up together. All of our partial products. So these are all parts of our answer. I tell my students to start with the number with the greatest value. So that will be 2,000. And we're going to very carefully rewrite them to the side, making sure that we're lining up our place values. So there's 2,000. Our next one is 300. Again, you see we're lining up our ones, tens, and hundreds. Then we have 120. And then our last one is 18, and all we simply have to do is add this together. So 8 plus nothing is 8, 1 and 2 is 3, 3 and 1 is 4, 2 and nothing is 2. So we get an answer of 2,438. That's it with the box method. I will show you very quickly the standard algorithm so that way you can see how this actually relates to the standard algorithm. They will use the standard algorithm in 5th grade, but like I said, we're working on the concept, not so much the steps. Kids do tend to get lost or confused with the steps involved, and that's where mistakes are made. So this really helps them organize their math and their thinking, and it breaks it down a little easier for them, so that way when they get to 5th grade, they are prepared to do the standard algorithm. So I'm going to rewrite this problem right here, 53 times 46, and this is probably how you learned in school. So we're going to start with our 6 and multiply times 3, so 6 times 3, which you can see right here. So 6 times 3 is 18. We put the 8 there. We do regroup the 1. The next thing we multiply is 6 times 5. Well, since that's 5 is in the tens place, it's really 50. So it's really 6 times 50. And if you look right there, we have our 6 times 50. So we know 6 times 5 is 30, plus that 1 is 31. So we have finished with our ones place. Now we're going to move to our tens place. Since we are done with our ones, there are no ones left. So that's why you put that 0 there for that placeholder. Everything is going to be tens and greater. So when we look at this 4, it's really not 4, it's 40. So this is 40 times 3, which we can see right here is 40 times 3. But looking back at our problem, just 4 times 3 is 12. And we have to regroup that 1. I'm just going to leave it right there. So when we see 4 times 5, it's really 40 times 50, which you can see right there as well. So 4 times 5 is 20, plus that 1 is 21. And then you add these together, 2 and 2. So we get whoops, might help if I could add. So we get 2,438, and you can actually see we have the same number. So we have 8 and 0 adding together, 1 and 2 adding together, 3 and 1 adding together, and then 2 on its own. So like I said, this is just a precursor. It's getting us ready for standard algorithm. Be patient with us as students are doing this. Please don't push them into this. Like I said, 5th grade is when they'll really be doing this. We want to make sure that they understand the concept behind this before they get to just working with the process or the steps. As always, if you have questions or concerns, just let me know and I'll be happy to help. Thank you so much for all your support at home.